Greetings and salutations. Thank you for lending an ear to the voice of the times. This Monday, October 11, 2021. For today's editorial, moving forward despite nagging COVID pandemic. Today, the Manila Times marks another milestone. From its founding on October 11, 1898 by Thomas Gowan, an Englishman living in Manila, we celebrate our 123rd anniversary. That was of course the same year when Filipinos proclaimed independence from Spain, and just like the Philippines, this paper has had many ups and downs since then. The Times did not always fare well, but the brand seems blessed with many lives. It was there to report on the 1918 pandemic that was misnamed as the Spanish flu, as well as 2 world wars, a Cold War, and now the 4th Industrial Revolution. The paper did die a couple of times in between. First in 1930 after Alejandro Rosas Sr. bought it, then in 1972 when martial law was proclaimed. The first revival of the Times happened after World War II. The Rosases owned the biggest media conglomerate at the time. The reputation of the family's flagship daily, The Tribune, was tainted after the Japanese had used it as its newspaper. After liberation, an old title that competed with the Rosas flagship was reborn. That was the beginning of the golden years of the Manila Times. The paper was the dominant news source in the country, perhaps even in Southeast Asia. The daily hired Filipinos who would later rise to prominence, including Benigno Ninoy Aquino Jr., then a correspondent who covered the Korean War. He was neither the first nor the last famous Filipino to be associated with the Times. Before him, there were Manuel Quezon, who owned the paper from 1919 to 1921, and Carlos P. Romulo, the first Filipino journalists to be hired by this newspaper. Reviving the daily in 1986 was more difficult. It was touch and go, as evidenced by frequent changes in ownership from the next generation of the Rosases to the Gokongwei clan, then to the late Manila Congressman Mark Jimenez. Unfolding chapters. The difficulties continued even after the present owners, Dante Arevalo Ang and family, bought the paper in August 2000. They faced seemingly insurmountable problems, a paper buried in debt, and new owners with modest financial resources. Remarkably, the Times pulled through. The tide began to turn around in 2010, after several bouts of downsizing and near-fatal errors in strategy. But as they say, what does not kill you makes you stronger. The next major test came a decade later, with COVID-19. The Times continued publishing a print edition throughout the pandemic, and even rolled out its digital edition, a replica of the print version, serving parts of the Philippines out of reach because of disrupted travel and courier services. Since the COVID outbreak, the Times has beefed up its digital edition, which now offers more pages than its print version, as well as its website and social media platforms, including the Manila Times channel on the mobile app Live. The paper also ramped up organizing events and now offers several business forums every month that tackle news and public affairs. And even as other companies retrenched, the Times hired more people. Our product has evolved from paper to content delivered through multiple digital platforms, all these alongside the print edition. Thankfully, our readers and patrons embraced our new and improved offerings, and everyone in the Times organization stepped up to the challenges, despite some contracting COVID-19 in the line of duty. Even as the health crisis continues, we turn our attention to the future. As mentioned in previous editorials, the world needs to live with COVID-19. On occasions like our anniversary, we recall the past not to bask in old glories, but rather to fix our bearings before moving forward. Of course, we are, as they say, not yet out of the woods. No one is, with COVID-19 lingering. But looking around to survey the destruction it has caused, we find confidence from the fact that we are still standing, still fighting. We cannot claim full credit for our resilience. The honor, and along with it our appreciation, goes to our readers. Their support and loyalty during the toughest of trials deserve our best effort to publish the news source of choice, a paper trusted since 1898. And that's the editorial for Monday, October 11, 2021. For more news and information, get a copy of the Manila Times on print, subscribe to our digital edition, or log on to www.manilatimes.net. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and listen to The Voice of the Times.